Autistic Gamer 7, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. As you might have been able to tell by the title, this is going to be the final for the May collab that I have going on the channel. This is going to be the first part of two, so definitely make sure you keep an eye out for the second part once it goes up. But in this part, I am going to be touring 7 people's builds and going around and seeing what they did. Everyone's information will be down in the description below, so definitely go make sure you check those out. Some people do have videos for this, some people just shared it over on their Twitter. They're all up on the gallery as well for if you want to download any of these builds. I really have been looking forward to this, and I love everyone's builds. And they did a amazing job. So we're going to get ready and head on over and start touring the builds. I hope you enjoy the video. And again, remember to check out everyone down in the description below. Just as a quick reminder of the rules that was a part of this build, they had to pick one of my flower sims that I had a cast series a while back ago and make a build based off of them. I told them any lot size was allowed, and I even let them do apartments as well. So going through, I will let you know what size the lot was, and if it was like certain apartments and all that good stuff, and the flower sim that they had chose to base it off of. But now we're going to head on over and actually tour the first build. This one here is by GenieSims, or Nicole, whichever you want to call her. She picked Corinthian, and this is her build for Corinthian. I did actually place the flower sims outside the builds just as a reminder of who the sims were. So that's why they're there. But this is a very beautiful outside entrance, like flowers all over the place. The colors definitely work for Corinthian with the blues and the purples and all the lightings. It was really pretty. I love the outside though. Like the outside was one of my favorite pieces of this. Then we head on inside here and we have the open concept sort of area. We got the kitchen and like a sitting area. There was a little dance area. I like that. I think she uses that vase in a few different places, and I like that that vase was used with the blues and the purples because it does definitely go back to Corinthian. And I think some of the styling she did for like the words the walls and stuff like that definitely plays into the fact that in some ways Corinthian, even though when I was originally making her I wasn't going for the vibe, there's that vase again. She sort of reminded me after I finished her of almost like a Southern Belle. I think it was like her face structure. She just looked like that typical like Southern Belle, sweet, innocent, cutesy face. And I think some of this sort of looks like that way until you have this grand bed here. And there's some paintings which plays to the fact that Corinthian is a creative sim, and I partially made her creative just because the actual flower itself is so pretty. It's absolutely beautiful. And I like that this like sitting area over here has the same the Get Famous stuff. The couch and the bed match. And that painting is one of my favorite paintings. I try not to use it as much because it is one of my favorites, but I go to it automatically all the time. And I'm like, no, put it back. But I really love that painting, and the color choice of that one was really well. Now we're in the backyard. Again, I think the outside is absolutely beautiful. I love all the little butterflies and all the flowers, and they're all blues and purples. They're all really pretty. It all complements each other, and it's definitely got sort of that very plant creative vibe, beautiful, magical, all that stuff. I'm making like hand motions. You can't see it, but I don't know why I'm doing it. But I absolutely love this, and I love the use of those butterflies everywhere. It is so pretty. And I love it. The outside was definitely my favorite with the lights and all the colors. It was real pretty. I do notice that I don't have all the roofs up, so I fixed that so that those have roofs on them. But this was a very cute build, and on the outside it looks so beautiful and so magical. I absolutely loved it. Next we have Reckless Simmer here. I think it's got an X in between Reckless and Simmer, if I am remembering correctly. I'm not looking at my notes, which I should be. But she built a place for Moonflower. And we have Moonflower standing out here. Hopefully, you know, I was like, hopefully she does not burn to death in the process of me doing this. Because she is technically a vampire. I don't know if I mentioned that in the Collab startup video, but she is a vampire because moonflowers open up at night and all that stuff. I sort of thought it was fitting for her to be a moonflower. Also, these mailboxes really annoy me. I didn't go out and remove them, but I didn't know that they were there, and it pops up in a few builds, and I like scream at the I start screaming at the mailboxes at some point, so just ignore that. But anyway, here is the inside of this build. There definitely is a lot of darker tones with the splash of whites and blues, which is definitely really pretty. It sticks out, and I definitely think that it definitely works for Moonflower. The fact that she is more of, she has a lot of white going on, but she, again, the Moonflower opens up only at nighttime, so the darkness is more of like her thing. But definitely, and like I use a lot of the light blues as well, because in the moonlight, if you've ever seen a moonflower, the flower itself is completely white with the vines being a greenish blue. But when the moonlight hits it, sometimes it does get a blue tone, so I like the actual use of some of the blues in this. So I think it's really pretty, but there is mostly whites, and there is a pretty open feel going on to this. We have like the kitchen here. There is a lot of lighting, and there's also like outdoor light windows for the outdoor lights, but there's also a lot of lighting, and this is one of them that I'd imagine if I went in at a later time that it would have been really pretty because of some of the lights going on and stuff like that, the candles and all that stuff. And I like the fact that there's two ways to get to the upstairs, and one of them's on the outside. To some degrees, like in real life, I wouldn't like that, but from a Sims point of view, I would. I absolutely love this like little, is it like a gazebo? Is that, why am I forgetting if that's, I think it's a gazebo is the actual name of it. I think that is absolutely cute and adorable, and I can imagine like actually going out there and sitting at nighttime and watching the moonlight, looking at it and enjoying it. And here we have like a little outside area, which I like this. I've never done this with like the countertops actually on the outside and setting it up that way, but I actually really like that, and I thought that was a good idea. We're about to go upstairs. I decided to go upstairs from the outside entrance just because I was already out here and I wanted to sort of see what it was like. And so now we're here up on the upstairs. We got lights on the outside again. I would imagine that this would be one of the ones that at nighttime it'd probably be really pretty as well. We got like a nice little hot tub. We got, again, more lights. I was tempted to go back and try to get some views of it at nighttime, but I did not for time reasons. But now we're on the back on the inside here. This is the upstairs, obviously. On the inside there's the stairway that goes down. There's like a little desk there to sit at, and I love this door. This is one of my favorite doors. I don't use it very much, but I actually really love it. And then we go in here, and this is like, I'm glitching into the wall a few times. Don't mind me. Can't control it very well, but the bedroom I think is beautiful. I like their bookcases. It's an elegant bed. It's got the dark tones with the white splashing off of it. Like, it's elegant and dark but light, if that makes any sense. And then we got the little bathroom over here, which is a nice little bathroom to have. Obviously, this is a one-bedroom house, Moonflower, obviously. I think they're all one-bedroom houses that I've seen so far, so they all live by themselves. But I absolutely love this build. The gazebo is one of my favorite parts, and the bedroom. Really like the bedroom. But I liked the layout, and I liked the style of this build. Definitely was like, this is where I have problem, like it may be slightly modern twist on it because of the more like square features and stuff like that, but I really liked the look of it, and I like using that fence on the top there. Thought it was really pretty. Really good job. Definitely make sure to check out down in the description below to go check out her stuff if you want to download it. Okay, next we have Marley's build, or Blue Bonnet Sims. I think I'm saying that right. Sorry if I'm not. If you all know me by now, I pronounce things very wrong sometimes. But anyway, she had Ice Plant here, and Ice Plant was definitely a unique, interesting one when I actually made it. There's the mailbox again. There's me screaming at the mailbox. I couldn't decide whether to do a male or female when creating Ice Plant, and I partially went male because of the fact that I didn't have as many males that I was making during the Flower Sims cast series. But at the same time, it easily could have went either way, and honestly, I sort of want to see what my Sims would look like if I did them the opposite gender. But obviously, Ice Plant is mostly pinks and greens and like blues. It's a very palish plant with the pink that sort of sticks out very well. I think this is a really cutesy build. I like this. And at one point, I get in the middle of this archway and I'm looking around like I'm confused. But it's partially because I actually really like that idea of layout. I haven't done that before, but I like that idea. Obviously, this is the bedrooms. The pinks and the greens are done really well throughout the house. I like the use of using the whites to bring those pinks and greens out. I also like the little succulents on the table. I was like, ooh, I had to get over to them. And honestly, I didn't know that that was a bed pattern that we had access to. But it really worked since it was pink and it had the plant designs on it. And honestly, those leaf designs, oddly enough, actually look quite a bit like the shape of, well, I mean, that's a general shape of the leaves, but the ice plant leaves are shaped very similar to that. I also noticed this wood flooring was used a lot. It's one of my favorite wood floorings, though, so I'm perfectly okay with it. And that flooring, now that I'm actually looking at it closely, actually has, like, a hint of blues and pinks and greens almost in it. But I thought this was a very interesting design. The layout was unique, and I really liked that layout part. Like, it was open, but not, like, super open all at the same time. I really liked this build. I thought it was really, really cute. And definitely interesting to, think. It made me think about the fact that I could see this house being, like, for a female sim as well as, like, my ice plant technically as a male sim. But it made me curious to see what it might look like as a female. So I'm probably gonna do that at some point. But I thought it was really, really cute. Now we're on to SweSims build. She had Moonflower as well. Up to 3 people could have one plant, and I think Moonflower was one of... Moonflower and Lilac was the 2 that reached the 3 people for it. Now this one, very, very pretty. There is fencing missing out of the front, and I realized that afterwards I do go in and add the fencing where I think that she had it, and show it towards the end of this video here, but I didn't realize it until after I went through touring. But there is it's a lot of white with the greens sort of accenting it, and white, like, lights everywhere. This is another one that if I would have turned it at nighttime, I think it would have worked out really well. And I like the fact that she actually has, like, sort of pretty artsy things, but also sort of dark things. And there's the mailbox again. But there's also a hint of vampire stuff in here, which I can't remember if I mentioned it in the collab video, but in the cast video I do mention it. Moonflower is a vampire, for the fact that vampires don't go out in the sunlight, they don't like the sun, and the Moonflower plant itself actually does not open up during the day. It stays closed. The flower stays closed until night comes around, and then it opens back up at nighttime. So I liked that little hint of taking in the fact that she was a vampire into consideration, but also, like, having some creativeness. It looked elegant and pretty, and honestly, the Moonflower is a very pretty plant if you see it open up. And using, like, dark tones to make the place definitely set more dark-wise, because obviously she doesn't like the sun as much, but also the dark also helps the other colors, which is, like, the blues and the whites, sort of bounce off of it and actually stick out. I really thought this was a cute little cozy house. Very, very pretty. I really want to see this house at nighttime, but again, because of time reasons, I didn't go in and show it off at night as well. But it was definitely really, really pretty. I really liked this one. And I liked the use of the little vampire hints here and there because she, like, the flower sim is a vampire. And the landscaping on this one, I don't mess with hill. Like, I do a lot of landscaping, but, like, the actual terrain tools, messing with hills and stuff, I don't do that too often just because I have a hard time making it look like it fits in the world like it's supposed to because the rest of the world doesn't really have many hills. But I think this was a really good job to actually play with the terrain tools a little bit, and I thought it was really cute. It did a really amazing job. Next, we have a build for Lilac here by, she was in my collab last time, and I can't pronounce it. She gave me, like, the meaning and everything to her name after the fact. But I have tried several times to still try to pronounce it right, so I just say Das. So, again, I apologize, I can't pronounce it right, but it will be up on the screen as well and all the information down below. But this is a build for Lilac. This is a nice little cutesy little home. The flowers in the front definitely bring a lot of purples. I was in the springtime, but it seemed like the flowers didn't fully come to color like they're supposed to, so I imagine that they look very, like, really vibrant in later spring into summer, but I thought I was late enough in spring that it wouldn't matter. But whatever. Here in the house, right in the entrance, I like the fact that there's a section of it that is glass, and once I go around the outside of it, you see that it's almost like a layered house, which was a really interesting way of doing it. I liked how that looked. Honestly, it was different and unique and interesting, but it's like layered differently, and that middle section has that glass roofing to let a lighter light in. Thought that was a really cool idea. I like all the different purples, because lilac does come in the lilac bush actually does come in more colors than just lilac. Most of the colors are some shade of purple, though. There is some that are slightly bluish, and I think there's actually some white as well, but it's mostly shades of purple. Obviously, the lilac color is the more popular one, but I thought this was a really, really cute little build, and using all the different purples, I think, worked really well. There's that glass roofing, you can see a little bit better, and how it's sectioned off. I think the little balcony is cute, and there was that wood flooring again. And the pool is a nice idea, because you know what? Plants need water. She's probably going to want to go swim as well. There is some terrain done in this one as well. Just a little hint of it, which is nice. And again, I don't use terrain tools that much, so it's nice to see it. I thought this was definitely a very unique, interesting build, and loved the hints of purple in it. I thought it fit very well. So, good job! Okay, next we have Lilac Lydia Dietz, I think is how it is pronounced correctly. Again, horrible with the pronunciation, but anyway, I'm going to shortly say Lilac. She had Carithian, which I think she had asked about Lilac, and I can't remember if Lilac was full or if she did decide to do Carithian instead. And she has this cute little lovely home here that has like this open entrance area that looks like, you know, it's like definitely for like gardening and also painting, which Carithian is. I remember she was a very more creative sim compared to the rest of them. At least the mailbox is there, so there was no glitchy mailbox trying to get at the front door. I don't know why they automatically want to go to the front door compared to just somewhere off in the corner of the lot, but they want to go to the front door. But anyway, we have like a very cute but cluttered living room. I like clutter, to be honest with you. It makes the place look live-in, and it's definitely got a unique style. I think she did call this home like creative, like Carithian's creative something. I can't remember right off the top of my head, but I do really like this. I also like how there's like this open section here that's also like another gardening area. Goes well with the fact that she is technically based off of a flower, and also she is a outdoor, loves the outdoors, which all of my plant sims love the outdoors, obviously. We also got some paintings up here, again, stretching out the fact that it is, she is creative, but the layout of this one, there was some really interesting layouts in this collab. I really liked this one, and going up there, and it was like that little hallway, and you have the beam going across. Really liked it, and I also liked the fact that there is paintings pretty much everywhere to go off the fact that she is creative. We got like a little laundry station, which I think this is the first time I'd seen laundry compared to the other ones. And then we have the bedroom, which has a bunch of paintings, a bunch of flowers, a bunch of creative stuff. There is a lot of blues going on with some other colors as well. Corinthian is more of like blues and purples, and I like those little seating ottomans actually like stacked on top of each other, and we have like a cute little like balcony area. This was a really interesting layout home. Like, it looked like it's like maximized the space that was used in this home, and the entranceway looks so pretty and so inviting. I would, like, if I was visiting this place, I would be very intrigued. Like, if, like, a friend just bought it, I'd be very intrigued to, like, go inside this house, because the entryway is very inviting. I thought this was definitely a very interesting house. I think it looks like, you know, Corinthian moved in and tried to make it her own, because it's got more of, like, these darker brick tones on the outside, but it looks super cute on the inside, and I love, like, the sort of greenhouse aesthetics and things like that. Really amazing build. Really liked how this one turned out. And now we're on to the last one for the part 1, which is by Mina Bunschner. I'm pretty sure I'm messing up your last name. She chose African Violet, and she partially chose African Violet because the African Violet is native to where she lives, her continent, so she wanted to do that and give it more of an actual like African vibe and style to it, which I absolutely love. In terms of creating my sim, I tried to make her like have some hints to that, but also try to bring some of the like flower-esque to it. But she did apparently make a sim, like, she changed African Violet's look a little bit too. And also, not to take away from this build, I forgot to mention that Lilac also redid Corinthian and is on the gallery. I need to check to see if Mina's version of African Violet is up on the gallery as well. If so, I'll put like a comment down below if it's on there. But this is a really interesting build. I like the use of the hills. I know that the housing and stuff she used is looks more common to what they actually have, like using like materials that are around you to make these. I thought this was so pretty and stunning and cute, and a good idea to fit more of where African Violet comes from, the flower. I really liked the idea, and definitely would not have been something that I would have came up with, but I love this. It was like an awesome idea, and I seen a lot of people liked, she had shared it. I tried not to look at too much stuff before I did the tour video. She did share it, and a lot of people liked the fact that she used the, more of like from where she's from to influence the build, and it fit for African Violet as well. And the terrain tools are done really well in this one, and using landscaping and stuff. Again, I don't use the terrain tools very often. I want to try to use them more often, but it fits in this build with the little houses. I forget the name of them. I'm so sorry, Mina. I forget what they were called, because I remember she said what they were, and they're typically round and all that stuff. I remember reading all that about it, but as I'm doing this voiceover, the name has just completely left my mind. But I also like this little cute little pond and using the ducks inside of it. I thought that was a cute idea. So definitely a very interesting build, definitely very unique build, and I liked that it was influenced a lot by where African Violet comes from. So that was a nice little touch there. And that is going to conclude part 1 of the May Collab Final. I hope that you enjoyed the build. Definitely make sure you go check out all the wonderful creators down in the description below. Everyone who participated this collab is down there, so including the ones that are going to be a part of part 2 are down there. All their information's down there All these builds are up on the gallery. You can find them either using their origin IDs that should be down in the description below, or the hashtags that was for the collab. Hashtag ArtisticGamer7, hashtag AG7 collabs, or May Collab, or Flower Home, or Flower Collab. That was the hashtags used. So you can use any of those to also find these builds if you would like to download any of these builds yourself. And thank you so much for everyone who participated in this one. I love all of the builds so far. Really excited to get into the next portion of it, which should have 8 builds if I'm remembering correctly. So definitely keep an eye out for part 2, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!